Thanks for your time, Macca. So a 0-0 draw with Witton today to finish the season. What's your thoughts on the game?
It was a typical end of season game, wasn't it? It was quite people had the flip-flops on, I think, for both sides, didn't they? Do you know what I mean? As much as we tried to raise the intensity, there was good phases of play in the game, but no, it just had that end of season feel to it. So it was a shame because there was some good football played at times and we could have possibly nicked it. Do you know what I mean? But it's what it is. We took our points. It's our place to come. And that's 3 points off the 3 teams in and around the playoffs that we've took off them the last 3 games, and I feel that it could have been 6, 9, possibly 6 to 9. Do you know what I mean? So it is what it is. Dominant.
We felt when we were doing the commentary, especially in the first half, that we were Witton had a lot of the ball, and they're obviously a decent, quite physical side, and able to, to use the attributes of particularly Elliot Rocker when he was on the pitch. But we felt like all the decent chances were sort of falling to us. Obviously, we've had 2 attempts to lob Ollie Martin from our own half that have only gone narrowly off target or been saved by Ollie himself backpedaling. So we felt like the chances that we had, we felt like it was probably it was us that sort of edged it, and it's another decent showing against the side that's been pushing for the top end of the table again.
Yeah, it wasn't. Look, besides the first 15 minutes of the game, I thought they were at us. They were playing some really good football. They had that system of the two holding midfielders, 2 number 10s, the box midfield, and it was like, it was causing us major trouble. Do you know what I mean? They were playing one-touch football that shows how good of a team we are, and they are a really good team. Besides that first 15 minutes, we then got to grips with the game, and I think it was us that was the better team then. Do you know what I mean? We stopped them from playing, we were getting at them, we just didn't. Once we get in the final third, we didn't really look like we had any clue sort of thing to score, do you know what I mean? Or we just didn't do the right thing. So, look, it was a good result either way, and they'll probably feel it's a missed opportunity, but look, a point from say to you, getting a point here. Even a couple of games ago, I'd have snapped your hand off for it.
Good. I mean, looking at the reflections now with the tail of the tape and all the games haven't been played in the season now, we know that we finished 12th. Any sort of reflections on how you look at how we've ended up? And I mean, we said ourselves then that it's just such a strange season where it's so congested in our half that we could only really beat Assured mathematically last Sunday, and then we end up finishing 12th. So it's like,
you're right there. It's been really an odd season, sort of. We were at the bottom, obviously, do you know what I mean? And we were always under pressure, not me personally, always the club, the players, to try and get out of that bottom 4, wasn't we? And I don't think it was till after Christmas we got out of it, or just before Christmas, and then we haven't been in it since. So results haven't been that bad. It's just everyone puts a little bit of a spin on it and thinks we've been bad, we've been poor. We've had ups and downs, we've had peaks and troughs. There's been lads that have come and gone through the draw. There will be in the summer still, do you know what I mean? But I think we're on a better level now. I think we're moving forwards, and I feel that we're competitive again. We're competitive across the park. We're maybe missing that final third, maybe goals. Danny Mitchell's not played today, so he's our number 9, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel we're moving in the right direction, and I don't want to be negative and look too far back at it, but I feel we have made massive strides in that, and that'll be carried on hopefully through the summer and then into next season, and that's what bodes well, do you know what I mean? I feel positive that we're moving in the right direction.
I think we've reflected between the 3 of us in the past few weeks with the games that we played, the competition that we've put up against, the 3, let's take the 3 final teams, and let's throw Macclesfield into it as well, because we competed there and created some great chances that only having a £1.85 million keeper.
Just conceded 5 goals and we could have scored 5 ourselves,
exactly.
You know what I mean? Could have been 5 all.
So, yeah, it shows the competition, and that probably hasn't been our problem really. It's been what we've kind of done. The start of the season we had before we came in, and then obviously I think what's been really good is that the burst that we've won games. So we've won 1, 2, 3 on the bounce, and then picked up a bit of confidence.
We've also stopped, like besides that Macclesfield game, we stopped conceding in big numbers. We were conceding 2s and 3s at the start of the reign. We were quite easy to play against. We were a very good footballing team, and that's no criticism of anyone that's played here. Fantastic football team, but lacked something. Now I think we've gone the opposite way, and we're now becoming a bit more solid, and maybe not as great as a passing team as the other team was, but we're now becoming harder to beat, and I think that's the prerequisite in this league, isn't it? Be hard to beat, set your stall out and see where you go, and then develop again moving forward. We're still in initial stages, do you know what I mean? And every manager will be now, oh, I want to sign this, I want to sign that. I want to keep the lads that I've got here, and I'll say that on record, and I just want to add to them, want to add to the bills, and that's the best signings I can make, if that makes sense to the club, that I keep the lads that I've got here. They know how we want to work, they know what we want to do, and then we'll add to them and bring in new players, and hopefully they'll hit the ground running and they can move us forward, and that's all that's missing, I feel. Do you know what I mean? We're not a million miles away from being an okay top 5 team, top 10 team, potentially above that, do you know what I mean? It's just consistency from that, and as I say, we'll be looking to eradicate that in the summer. We're looking to identify players and nail down our principles again to anyone, new members that are coming in, and anyone that leaves, look, it'll be heavy hearts that they leave, but look, we'll just carry on and we'll move forward, and no player's bigger than the club. That's what I feel here anyway, and that's how it should be, and we'll start to move in the right direction, and hopefully pre-season I'm looking forward to it already. I want to start now, to be honest. I want to knock that season and let's start and go to it. But this season has been the longest season I've ever had. It's been like 3 or 4 seasons in one, so.
It feels like about a year ago that we were interviewing you in September when you'd just been appointed to come down on a Thursday night, was it? Come that Thursday training, and we had a good chat with you, and sort of you talked just through on and off camera your principles and stuff. And one of the overriding feelings that we found as well was that when things weren't going right for us, being able to sit in, weather a storm to a certain degree, and getting late goals, getting important goals late on, being able to weather a storm late on as well was something that we found quite fundamental and something that was really pleasing from our perspective. And we were talking ourselves on the way down that, in particular, like the turning points in the season, the big moments, for example, the late goals against Rams Bottom,
pivotal that one, that everyone remembers that one. That's pivotal. But Hanley away, first game that we've won.
September 24th.
September the 24th. Kevin Ellison was outstanding that day. Outstanding, best player on the park. And I thought we were great that day. The tenacity of the lads that played, and anyone that plays that day with the tenacity.
I remember Simo being outstanding as well.
Yeah, the middle of the park was outstanding. Max, Simo, Louis Corrigan played that day. He was outstanding. The whole team on that day was outstanding, and I think that started it. That was when people started to believe that in what we were doing. Do you know what I mean? We were bedding our principles down. We were training right. We had the right methods in place, and they could see that. And that was no criticism of anyone else before us. It's just that's how we set our stall out. I want us to play with an intensity. I still do. I feel we've dropped our levels of intensity as the season's gone on, because we've had to sort of adapt our principles and go with, let's be harder to beat, let's not do this, let's try this way. And in certain games we've come unstuck and we've been disappointing. Cables games we've been disappointing, and a few other winners especially, do you know what I mean? Local games I think we've been disappointing in, but bigger picture was just about staying in the league this year, and then can we get what we want in, can we move forward, do you know what I mean? And recruitment is going to be key in the summer.
Absolutely. So one final thing for us to just discuss before we finish off and let you go back in is just looking at the relationship between the team and the fans, something that we've discussed a lot, and we've seen a lot on Twitter in the last few weeks as well. We'll probably look more into this in the summer when we do like a bit of a season review maybe, and get some quotes from people, but what we looked at as well was sort of the relationship between the team and the fans coming back together since you guys came in, and obviously I know you've spoken at length yourself in post-match interviews how much you've appreciated the support of the fans. Has that been a really important thing in terms of getting us over the line and helping?
It's been immense. That I've told you and I've said to off camera and that, the supporters to be here today and the numbers, do you know what I mean, and supporting us, and it just adds to us. It gives us an extra 10%, 20%, do you know what I mean? And especially at home, when there's a big crowd there, look, you can't beat that, do you know what I mean? What game was it we won? And the Clitheroe was it at home, and he come off the park, and the rounds of applause he had after that game, and there was another game not long after that, if you remember.
Workington as well.
Workington, sorry, and they got a round of applause off the whole ground, and you just knew, and the crowd willed them on, though, do you know what I mean, and they supported them, and even during the tough times they supported them. So look, they don't realise how important we are and important to me and the club, do you know what I mean? And hopefully we can improve on our numbers and we can get our followings up and we can be more successful, because with success brings more fans.
Yeah, of course.
And that's how it works. It's not a glory hunting thing, it's just that it's inevitable at any level, do you know what I mean? The more successful you are, the more fans you'll generate. And we're hoping that we can push on in the right direction and bring more fans through the gate and just back us and see where we go, do you know what I mean? Take us on a journey and let's see where we go, do you know what I mean? We're not saying we're going to win the league, we're going to be the best team in the league. We're going to have a go and see where we end up, and if it's a journey and we're all successful together, let's push on and enjoy it together, do you know what I mean?
Fantastic. Thanks for your time, Mark, and well done for this season. Nice one, mate.